This week's breakfast is sponsored by Natalie Hajibai and family for the Refuah Shlema of Daniel Ben Rachem. So Danny Hajibai, please make Barachot for his complete Refuah Shlema. Continuing now with the mitzvot of Purim, we addressed Megillah very briefly. We'll jump now to the second of the four mems, meaning there are four different mems. We'll discuss number 2 is, let's say, the mishteh, the festive meal. On Purim, that one of the four mitzvot, one of the four halachot is that we must have a festive meal like that, similar of what we do on Yom Tov and Shabbat. Now, this Purim meal, generally speaking, is unique in that there's a discussion if there's an obligation to have bread. The halacha, the minhag, is to have bread as well, but the ikar is to have red meat and some wine, a little bit of wine and some red meat. That's the ikar to have when we're having the seudah of Purim to fulfill the mitzvah of the seudah. This year is a famous discussion because Purim falls out on a Friday. How do we proceed? What do we do? Generally speaking, the custom of most of the Jews is to pray Mincha Gdolah and then begin their Seudah immediately after Mincha and go through the afternoon. This year, Friday night is obviously Shabbat. Shabbat doesn't wait for anyone, and Shabbat is the holiest day of the week, holiest day of the year. Therefore, what's the most proper way forward? How do we continue? And what's the ideal way to have the Seudah? Rabbi Ben Chaim agrees with Ovadia Yosef that although there are some who say we should do this concept called Pores Mapa, meaning they pray Mincha as normal before early, later in the day, closer to Shabbat, they begin their Seudat Purim. Then once Shabbat begins, they literally, Pores Mapa, they cover their table, make Kiddush, and then resume eating that meal that they began earlier. Then later on in the night, when they sober up, they pray Arvit. That's an idea called Pores Mapa. There are some who practice this way. Rav Ovadia Yosef was against it for a few reasons. One was because it just creates many sfekot. What happens with your Birkat Hamazon? Do you say V'al Nisim or do you say Retzeh? Can you say both? How can you say both? It's 2 separate days, but you started the Seudah during Purim and you're ending in Shabbat. So that's one main reason, and because of that, in Yabiu Merchalik Yud Aleph, he advises against it. And when Purim is on a Friday, he recommends that you have the Seudah early in the morning, ideally before Halachot midday. And that's what Rabbi Chaim recommends as well. Rabbi Chaim encourages us all to teach that the Purim Seudah should begin this year before Chatzot, which is around 1:04 p.m. in New York. Before that time, begin your Seudah, eat, drink a little bit of wine, have a good time, enjoy, have simcha. By 2-3 o'clock, you stop drinking, you sober up, and you get to Shabbat on time, sober, with proper kavanah, pray your mincha properly, pray your tekalah properly, get back home, and have an appetite to eat something for Shabbat as well. We lucked out that we changed the clock last week, so we have an extra hour of Purim. But it's very important to understand that Shabbat is very important. Chas v'shalom, we should not cause anything we do on Purim to enable chilul Shabbat, God forbid, and enable chas v'shalom desecration of Shabbat. So we have to be smart from the onset, have the Seudah earlier in the day. And everyone likes to joke, how can I have meat so early in the morning? First of all, every Shabbat we have meat that early in the morning if you have Kiddush and Shul. Second of all, we celebrate 2-day Yom Tov here. So if we're able to having 2-day Yom Tov, eating meat both times, we can celebrate and have meat both times on Purim and Friday night as well. Be'ez Hashem, we should have a very healthy, happy, and rejoiceful Purim, and we should celebrate really, really in the best way possible. Have a wonderful day.